Hey, Danny, congratulations. Get rolling. Flora?
Okay. Thank you.
In the house. In the house.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Flora Ramos. I am with Tishman Construction Corp. Of New Jersey, otherwise known as now AECOM Tishman. It is great to be out here at the site of the New Jersey Windport with so many visionary leaders. Today, we enter an exciting new chapter in the story of New Jersey's clean energy economy. The New Jersey Windport is a transformative project that will establish New Jersey as an international hub of offshore wind growth and innovation. AECOM Tishman is honored to be entrusted by the state of New Jersey with the responsibility for its construction. Following today's groundbreaking, earthworks will begin in the fall with major construction set to begin in December. This project will create hundreds of union construction jobs for workers in a variety of disciplines, including carpentry, mason, electricians, iron workers, plumbers, welders, and dock builders. All right. Don't be shy to show your enthusiasm. This is great. Per the PLA being signed shortly by Alan and Dan, AECOM Tishman is proud to partner with these trades to fulfill New Jersey's commitment to using union labor to construct the Windport. We are also very excited to work, as I see them, with the elite NJEDA to set a new standard for the inclusion of minority and women construction workers and small minority veterans, disabled veterans, and disadvantaged business owners. With the ultimate goal to ensure at least 25% of contractors during the construction of the Windport are small businesses, our intention will be that at least 15% of those contractors are minority, women, veterans, and again, disadvantaged business owners. To achieve these goals, we will be working hard to connect with local workers in the community to share information about the many opportunities that this project will create, along with preserving and enhancing the surrounding environment of Salem County. Over the coming weeks and months, AECOM Tishman representatives will participate in local town hall meetings to discuss opportunity, answer questions about the project, and identify local contractors that are interested and qualified to work on the project. Now it is my honor to pass the microphone to Governor Murphy, whose vision and strong leadership have made this project possible. Since taking office, Governor Murphy has made it a top priority to address the danger of climate change while building a greener, fairer economy that works for all New Jerseyans. The Windport is just one piece of the governor's energy master plan, but he has been a strong supporter since the beginning. His vision and leadership have gotten us to where we are today, and I am excited to continue working with him and the many other partners here for the historic event as we move forward. Thank you, and welcome, Governor Phil Murphy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Flora, you can introduce me anytime. So thank you for that and for your gracious words and for AECOM Tishman's partnership and commitment to building the New Jersey Windport the right way. I'm joined by a tremendous group of individuals who I will get to in just a moment, but it is a tremendous and a particular honor to welcome a friend to New Jersey, the Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh. Marty, great to have you. God bless you. Mr. Secretary, you have committed so much of your life and career to pursuing a stronger and fairer future for working families. As head of the building trades in Boston, as a state representative, as mayor of Boston, and now in your federal role, you've stayed true to the men and women of organized labor. And I should say that on behalf of all of us in the Jersey side, in much the same way, New Jersey has stayed true to our union families. And here in South Jersey, the legacy of one of organized labor's earliest leaders and champions, Peter McGuire, is honored and upheld. And today, we're doing that legacy proud. I'm honored that we are joined by so many who have worked so hard to get the South Jersey Windport from drawing board to groundbreaking and whose continued efforts will see it rise. I must start with three tremendous champions for New Jersey's working families. The guy to my right, Congressman Donald Norcross. Donald. I might add himself an electrician. How many electricians in Congress? You're looking at him. I got it covered. Another labor leader and great elected leader, Senate President Steve Sweeney. Steve, bless you. In whose district we find ourselves. And, of course, the president of the New Jersey State Building and Construction Trades Council, Bill Mullen. Bill, great to have you. And we will hear from them all in a few moments. And I would just say, Steve, to you, this is a particularly sweet day, given how long you've been at this one. So God bless you and thank you. We're also joined by Speaker of the General Assembly. I got so excited I tripped it. Assembly, Craig Coughlin's in the house. Steve, your partners in the 3rd District, again, two guys who've been fighting for this for a long time, John Bersicelli and Adam Talaferro, both great assembly persons. Labor Committee Chair and another proud IBEW leader, Joe Egan, is in the house. Joe, God bless you. Special Committee on Infrastructure and Natural Resources Chairman Rob Karabinchak is in the house. Rob, great to have you. And I also want to recognize the efforts of those across our administration. I'll start with the woman back to my left here, the director of the new Governor's Office of Climate Action and the Green Economy, Jane Cohen, who we'll also hear from in a minute. I want to give a shout out to Evan Weiss, our senior advisor for finance and major projects, and New Jersey Economic Development Authority CEO Tim Sullivan and his entire team. And that team worked tirelessly to get to today. And across the entire cabinet, there's a whole slate of folks who have put their departments and agency skin in the game to get the New Jersey Windport built as well. And several of them are here today. Commissioner of Labor, Rob Acero-Angelo is in the house. Secretary of Higher Education, Dr. Brian Bridges is with us. Board of Public Utilities President Joe Fiordaliso is in the house. I don't know if the acting attorney general is here. I'm told he was coming. Is Andrew Bruck in the house? And Diane Gutierrez Scacchetti could not be here, but wanted me to pass on her best wishes. Department of Transportation. Secretary Liz Moyo is in the house. Liz, thank you for that. I want to also thank and acknowledge as a group Salem County officials and a collection of local mayors who are with us today, and I thank them for their great partnership. And I want to thank as well and welcome all the great leaders from across organized labor and the building trades, those from the clean energy advocacy arena, the business community as well who are with us. And I want to give a particular shout out to our friends from PSE&G, Ralph LaRosa, Chief Operating Officer. Ralph, thank you. Eric Carr, who's the Chief Nuclear Officer, and Rick Thigpen are with us today, and thank you guys. So there were so many hoops to go through. And it's because of everyone I just mentioned and many others that we're able to make this more than $250 million investment needed to establish New Jersey as both the epicenter of the nation's offshore wind industry and the head of the offshore wind supply chain, as this location will provide essential staging, assembly, and manufacturing activities related to offshore wind projects up and down, not just in Jersey, up and down the East Coast. For far too long, we've been fed a line that we could either create jobs or improve our environment and fight climate change, but not both. Today, I think we can finally put that old way of thinking to bed for good. What we're doing here today is not only going to create good jobs, overwhelmingly good union jobs, but it is going to be perhaps our greatest stand against climate change. New Jersey is going to change the narrative. Fighting climate change and creating good jobs do and must go hand in hand. And everyone here is helping us write this new narrative. A storm like Ida, which ravaged our state a week ago, I was mentioning both to Donald and Steve, it's a lot happier being with you guys today than it was a week ago in Mullica Hill when we were standing amidst the ruins of homes that have been crushed by those tornadoes. That sort of reality may be part of our today, but we must do all that we can to prove our unwillingness to deny climate change, our desire to attack it head on, and our commitment to handing a more resilient tomorrow to the next generation of New Jerseyans. Offshore wind energy is just one part of this effort, but it's a significant part. In New Jersey, we are already committed to creating nearly 1/4 of the nation's offshore wind generation market, a major part of a cleaner and more resilient energy future. And today we back that up with a 100% commitment to our working families to be a part of that future. When completed, the New Jersey wind port will eventually support up to 1,500 manufacturing, assembly, and operations jobs, in addition, by the way, to the hundreds of union construction jobs we're here today to celebrate. It will be an economic boon to South Jersey, but especially right here to Salem County. But before we create those jobs of tomorrow, we get to first create good paying jobs right here and right now, and that's what makes today even more exciting. We'll witness after a few speakers as AECOM Tishman in the person of Alan Paul and the South Jersey building trades, represented by dear friend Dan Costner, president, will sign a project labor agreement that will see the wind port built overwhelmingly by union hands. We're going to make sure that the people who work here at every step of the construction process and from nearly every building trade, carpenters, concrete and masonry workers, dock builders, dredging contractors, Joe and others, electricians, Steve, iron workers, laborers, Greg Lallovey, good to see you, operating engineers, plumbers and pipe fitters, Kirk Kruger and company, teamsters, welders, and on down the line, that all of them make up this great state. On average, we expect roughly 200 workers on site every day. So in short, it is a win-win-win. It's a win for our economic future. It's a win in our continuing fight for energy resilience and against climate change. And it's a win for workers and their families. And importantly, we are setting a higher bar for local engagement in the inclusion of historically disadvantaged businesses as part of the wind port's construction. And Flora alluded to this. We've set ambitious goals for 15% of the contract value to go to minority, women, and veteran-owned contractors, and 25% to go to small businesses. And we're joined today by many of the members of the wind port's Local Engagement and Diversity Advisory Council, who have been working with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority over the past 9 months to ensure we build this project in an equitable way. As I mentioned, the wind port isn't just about today. It's about our tomorrow. And one of the most important things on our to-do list is to ensure the workforce necessary for this project to succeed and for us to emerge not just as a regional or even national leader in offshore wind manufacturing and logistics, but as a global leader. And through the Secretary of Higher Education, Dr. Brian Bridges, again, Brian, thank you for being here, for your leadership, along with the new Wind Institute, we initiated 2 challenge grants for community colleges to be the training grounds for these jobs. And there is a very important reason why we're looking to our community colleges in this effort. We want to ensure that we create the most diverse workforce possible, where barriers to entry can be eliminated and anyone who wants a future in the offshore wind energy industry can succeed. That future workforce can be found in our community colleges. And through our Community College Opportunity Grant Program, the certifications and degrees needed for these jobs can be had tuition-free for many students. So the first challenge, the Offshore Wind Safety Training Challenge, will see a 1,700 square foot training center built on the campus of Atlantic Cape Community College to provide the world-class safety education that many of the jobs in the offshore wind sector require. And this will be truly world-class, set to meet or exceed internally industry-recognized standards. We are grateful to Atlantic Cape and all their partners and stakeholders. The second challenge, the New Jersey Wind Turbine Tech Training Challenge, that rolls right off your tongue, will be awarded in the coming weeks, and the ultimate prize of a grant of up to $1 million is still up for grabs. In this challenge, we're looking for a community college partner to work with industry stakeholders and our union labor partners to establish our state's first wind turbine technician training program. Very exciting. So with all of this, you can see why we are all so excited. The full range of possibilities for our future and our working families opens up before us. With our shovels in the ground in a few minutes, we're not just taking the initial step to building the nation's first purpose-built offshore wind manufacturing and logistics hub. We're not just breaking ground on good-paying union jobs. We're not just breaking ground on a clean energy future with all the economic and environmental benefits that will come with it. We are literally breaking ground on the very future of our state. And this is a tremendous cause for celebration. And to think it's just going to take a few signatures to turn this vision into a reality. But as honored as I am to be here, I am equally honored and privileged to welcome to New Jersey a tremendous champion for our working families, someone who understands that our collective future is held in the hands of union women and men. Please help me welcome the Secretary of Labor, Dorchester's own, Marty Walsh.
I don't work that in. I love it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you, Gov, and thank you for your beautiful words. And I know that it's been a difficult week for you and everyone here at the state, and I want you to know that I share my concerns for your residents of New Jersey impacted by the flooding, and my prayers certainly go out to the family of those who lost loved ones. I know that President Biden was here to commit the administration's support in the relief efforts last week on the ground, actually this week, on the grounds of those hardest hit. As the president said, it's another clear example of the impact of climate change and the need for resilient infrastructure and the clean energy investments to meet this historic challenge at this moment. Governor, you have been a vocal leader on the need for investing in infrastructure and clean energy and also in working families, and I want to thank you. This project shows that you certainly back your word up with action, so I appreciate that. I also want to thank you, Congressman. The Congressman has been a very dear friend to me. He has been there since I've been appointed by the President as Secretary of Labor. Certainly you've been an amazing friend and partner, so thank you for all that you've done. I want to thank also a lifelong union member. He's an electrician. I'm a laborer. We have an iron worker over here. We have some other trades in the room, so we might have a jurisdictional dispute before this day's over. But I want to thank you, Senate President, as well, for your great work and your friendship. President Mullen, for your work. The Treasurer, the mayors, Speaker of the House. I spent 16 years in Massachusetts House of Representatives. Bobby DeLeo is a good friend. Ron Mariano is a good friend. I serve at them both, so thank you, Mr. Speaker. To everyone here today, the construction, the building trade leaders, any rank and file that's here, thank you for your work as well. To all the different trades that are here, the companies, everyone. If I started going on, I'd be here for 3 days, and the rain's coming, so I'll stop talking there. But it is important when you think about today. Today is a public-private sector relationship. And that's how we're going to move our country forward. That's how we're going to move clean energy forward. That's how we're going to continue to move everything forward here in the public-private partnerships, including labor in that conversation and at the table. So thank you all. It's exciting to be here. The future of our country certainly depends on our ability to work together to advance the common good. And that's what we see in this transformative project, and this is a transformative project. The governor talked about impacts of Windport will have in New Jersey. I want to focus a moment just on the national impacts that this project is going to have. In March, President Biden set target goals for 30,000 megawatts of offshore wind energy by the end of 2030. He launched a whole-of-government approach to moving us forward. On our climate goals, I work very closely with Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm, Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, who the governor knows well from being a former governor in Rhode Island, Secretary of Interior Deb Haaland, and our climate advisor Gina McCarthy from Boston, Massachusetts, and the entire, that just worked that in there, I'm sorry, and the entire cabinet. In this administration, in President Biden and Vice President Harris' administration, climate action means good jobs. Yesterday, I was at an event at the White House, and the president was talking to labor leaders, and he said that. He talked about clean energy is about creating good-paying jobs, about creating opportunities for families to be able to raise their family, put a roof over their head, food on the table. This facility is going to help move us boldly towards both of these goals, increasing these goals. It represents the technological innovation, broad-based partnership, and bold investment that we need to meet the climate challenge. And it demonstrates beyond a doubt that clean energy means good jobs in an inclusive workforce. And you can hear also in the PLA, whoever crafted the PLA, thank you for what you did there. Diversity is important. Opening up doors is important. Creating pathways for companies of color and women and veterans is important. Making sure that we have an inclusive workforce to create pathways into the middle class, into the building trades is important as we do that. So thank you for the building trades and the company and everyone that put, Tishman for putting a PLA together like that, because it really is important, because this project labor agreement will make a difference in so many people's lives. You can also see in every aspect of how this project was planned. Commitment to diversity and equity is so important. Thousands of good long-term manufacturing and logistical jobs is important. Innovative community college partnerships to ensure local and equitable access to these jobs is important. In the Department of Labor, we're all committed to empowering all workers morning, noon, and night. These are the kinds of workforce strategies that empower working people and that we can continue to grow our middle class. When President Biden talks about building back better, he talks about it's actually a pathway into the middle class. It's a pathway that we need to be able to do. In the 50s and 60s and 70s in this country, we had a middle class. We had a middle class that was able to be proud of who they were. In 2021, our middle class is small. We don't have enough people in the middle class. The opportunities for access to the middle class isn't there. And that's why the president is focused, laser focused on creating and strengthening and allowing people to get into the middle class. And we need to do that. And that's what we're going to continue to do here. And that's what the administration is going to continue to do to build an inclusive economy. This project is a model for opportunity that we've never had before as a nation. The $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed the Senate would create millions of other good jobs. And we just interviewed the governor and myself by the news over there, and we talked about this project is even before the infrastructure investment. This project is the beginning of an opportunity for us to really show a way forward. New Jersey is showing a way forward by this project right here, showing us how to do it in the country. Other states can follow suit right here, what's happening in New Jersey. The $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill is in investments, includes energy transmission lines and a national network of electric vehicle charging stations. The president's Build Back Better agenda would lift up working families, make historic investments in workforce development. The congressman is working on this right now as we talk. We're working to making sure that we get these investments as best we can in these different places, because it will make a difference in our kids' economy. It will establish a clean energy standard training. It will also create millions of new jobs, including offshore wind investments. As I mentioned before, the New Jersey Wind Project, this project shows how these investments can protect our communities and build a safe and healthy future for our children. And today shows exactly how we create good jobs for an inclusive workforce and a strong middle class. Great energy projects go down in history for putting our nation on a better path. Think about the Hoover Dam or the Tennessee Valley Authority. They brought the energy to the entire regions, sharing in the 1930s. They created a new era of progress for our country. The level of change we're talking about here and the opportunity that we have before us as a nation right here on the spot that we're sitting today. Now I have the great honor of turning the microphone over to a friend, your congressman, an IBEW union brother, a champion for the working family, a strong partner with me and also a strong partner with the entire congressional delegation, in the entire administration in Washington. He works on the House Committee on Education and Labor, and I'm being extra nice to him today because he's mocking up our bill, so we want to make sure, and I'm only kidding there. My dear friend, Congressman Donald Norcross.
Thank you. It really is. We're literally in science, space, and technology marking up a bill to $46 billion, and at noon, $761 billion, which is going to include all the things that you just heard about. Governor, this is a really exciting day, but one of the reasons we're here is because what we went through last week with that horrible storm. Those who died, the tornadoes in South Jersey, certainly the floods in North Jersey. It's real. It's not a theory. Climate change is not coming. It is here. And somebody who's been talking about it literally for a decade on how we can address it is my good friend, my high school buddy, my building trades guy. He was my Senate president, Steve Sweeney, and the 3rd District, Talifero, and John Berticelli. You've been doing this since day one. And when we talk about PLAs, the Project Labor Agreement, Billy was there, Steve was there, I was there. We negotiated the first one in the state of New Jersey with the school construction, has set the model for inclusion. It's not about a job. It's about a career. And that's what we're going to be doing right as I leave here, is to put money for those training for a career behind us, for registered apprenticeship programs, and how important that is. It puts Steve as Senate president. It has literally given opportunity for those who never thought they had a chance. You know, the narrative we hear so often is, in order to make it in America, you have to go to college. Well, that's true for a lot of people. But you know what? We need the carpenters. We need the electricians. We need all of them. There's lots of ways to make it in this country, and they don't all go through that traditional 4-year. But what we are going to do is a 2+2. Preschool, 2 years. College, 2 years. Community college. So we're going to get you a little money back for what you're already spending there, Governor. Absolutely. You know, I have the absolute honor of serving in education and labor, where pensions we worked on, because you hear a lot about union jobs, and why is that important? Good wages, good benefits. That means your health is taken care of, and a secure retirement that we fixed at the beginning of this year. Joe Egan's been working on this for so many years. That nest egg at the end of a career, for all those times are put, is just so important. So we're going to literally leave here and vote on $761 million. That's going to give child care. Because you know what? I was a single dad. If you don't have child care, you're not going to the job. This is a job enhancement, and we're going to do that. So the wind port, and I got to say thank you to Ralph LaRosa. Every time we have a storm, there's something called mutual aid, where all the utility workers, primary linemen, go to where the problem is. Well, they headed down south, and Ida didn't pay attention. Came right back at us. One of the most dangerous jobs in the world. We lost 2 linemen in this storm. But that's how important it is. They come together, because when TVA got built, electricity was new. We can't imagine not having electricity today. So you need a grid that is safe, that is reliable, that is clean and green, and that's affordable. And that's what we're seeing done here today. Those windmills are the next generation. As much power as they produce here, the windmills we're putting up 2 times what you see right behind us. This will be the largest single spot in the country for the production of electricity when that comes out. Thank you, public service, and for those who are building it. I just want to finish up by saying we're in this together. The Build Back Better is not just a slogan. It literally is a way for us to come together as a nation. You know, that sounds like we've had a little bit of a problem, and we have. The fights that we're having, we can disagree. That's what a democracy is about. But at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We don't need to have more funerals from another storm. We have the way to fix this, and that's what we're doing here today. So Steve, the governor, all those who invested, and by the way, it's great to see people from such a diverse group. It is really an incredible time. As I said on Labor Day, labor saved this country over the last 18 months, but this project is going to help save the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Donald. Thank you for everything, your words and your actions. And Marty, it's great to have you. By the way, we have both you and Gina here in the same week, so that's got to set a record. But thank you, guys. I believe Tim and Ralph have signed the lease. Eric actually signed it on behalf of PSE&G, so thank you for that. It's a 78-year lease, and the only request I had of Tim is I want to make sure all of us are here at the renewal when that comes up. This has been a project that Steve Sweeney has been chipping away at for a long, long time, and it makes this is a sweet day for all of us, but it's a particular sweet day for the Senate President. Please help me welcome Senate President Steve Sweeney. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. First, it's like pinch me. You know, I remember John Bersiccioli, myself, Doug Fisher, and now Adam at the time. We started talking about building ports, right? And they said, for what? I said, ports are great. We didn't know what we were going to do with them, but we said, ports are great. We want to build ports. And we started focusing on offshore wind, thinking, you know, any climate change denier needs to take their heads out of their rear end. I said this before. Climate change is real, and we need to fix things, but we started focusing on ports. New Jersey passed the first offshore wind bill in the country. And, you know, Marty, you served in the assembly. Every state copied our bill, so we figured we must have got it right. You know what I mean? Because every state copied it, but then there was a race. Because who's ever going to get there first is going to get the prize. And the prize is the jobs, the manufacturing, the construction. They're all important. It's jobs, jobs, jobs. Nothing but that matters. It's great to have the offshore wind energy. It's wonderful. The manufacturing, making this an American supply chain, not a European. They're not our enemies. But they didn't want to bring the jobs here. They wanted to bring the products here. So lining up, getting a governor, Governor Murphy, thank you for making this a reality, because we were nowhere till you came into office on this. So thank you for that. So now we line up, and again, it's a race. If you read around the country, up and down the coast, every state's racing for manufacturing. But guess what? We're here first. We got here first, which means we have monopiles at EEW in Paulsboro, another port, 500 manufacturing jobs. Now we're in Salem, and someone said, did you guys push hard for Salem? I said, we pushed. You got to be kidding me. Do we push? We fought, because Salem, just for people that don't know, is the second poorest county in the state. They needed a shot in the arm. This makes Salem County, New Jersey, the smallest county in the state of New Jersey, the wind hub for the entire East Coast. That's pretty cool. So, you know, it's about jobs. You know, we recently did a bill that you signed, Governor, built by American. It's all about jobs. Mr. Secretary, this is what the president is talking about. We're doing it. We're the first. Others are trying to catch us, but none of this could have happened unless our governor didn't step up the way he did. And you know, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We need to do more. Like, as a construction person, we used to be scared to death of different types of projects. of energy. They're taking our jobs. No, we're just shifting. We're moving over to clean energy, which is a good thing, because I've lived in southern New Jersey my whole life. I don't ever remember an EF3 tornado. I never remember the damage that has been done throughout South Jersey. Donald and I, Donald's a little bit older than I, but we went to school together. I think he got left back one year. You got left back. But really, Don, we never saw anything like this, ever. So this is actually a very good thing. And for myself, John, and Adam, the third legislative district, which we happen to serve in, actually now is the wind hub district for the East Coast. And I got to thank the Speaker, because he's been my partner, and we couldn't have done it without you, Speaker. So thank you for the support. This is a huge day. Because although the Senate doesn't think we really need the Assembly, they kind of bother us a little bit. They slow us down. We need them. They're our partners. And it couldn't have gotten done without both houses and the governor. So, Craig, you made this dream a reality, so thank you so much. And PSE&G, I want to mention PSE&G, because what a partner they've been. Because I don't know if it was you or Tim or someone, I said, what about Salem? Yeah. And they said, what do you mean? I said, what about Salem? We got land. Well, where are you going to get the workforce? I said, well, we got thousands of people working in a nuclear plant. I bet you can get a few more. So again, this is really a sweet moment for us. Ralph, for everything PSE&G does for the state, it's greatly appreciated. Tim, thank you for the job you're doing. I was a little rough on Tim in the beginning, but I was proven wrong, and I appreciate that. And when you're wrong, you admit you're wrong. But Governor, this is a huge day for us. Again, it's a dream come true that Little Salem County is now the wind capital of the East Coast of the United States. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
Steve, congratulations. Two comments. First of all, I can't believe you were tough on anybody. This is news to me. I don't know what happened to you in that early. But secondly, a serious point. What makes this so ideal? Tim and I were having this conversation earlier today. These things, when they go out vertical, and they go out. They're as tall as the Eiffel Tower, and one of the great attributes is we're outside of any bridges right here. So these things are going to be going out, and I think they're going to be going out not just offshore New Jersey, but up and down the East Coast. So Steve, well done and congratulations. Please help me welcome a great labor leader, not a really good, not a very good, but a great labor leader, the president of the New Jersey Building and Construction Trades Council, Bill Mullen. Bill?
Thank you, Governor. Any building trades people here? Okay, there's a few. There was enough said, and I think everybody knows what this is about. I'd just like to say on behalf of the 150,000 members of the building trades here in New Jersey, we commend everyone for their efforts in putting this together, Governor. So thank you. Today, New Jersey, as it's been said, is going to become the leader in offshore wind energy. It'll provide, as the governor said, a win-win situation. It'll provide jobs, not only in the construction industry that we're interested in as the building trades, but in manufacturing, operational jobs here at the port. It'll help New Jersey's economy grow. That's for sure that we need it if we're going to maintain all the programs and everything else that everybody wants. The economy has to grow, attract business, and keep business here. I would like to just reiterate what the governor said about my dear friend and the Senate President Steve Sweeney, Adam Telefaro, John Bersicelli from the 3rd District. Without their efforts, this would not happen. It would not happen. And I go around the state, and for the people that live in the 3rd Legislative District, there's no stronger three people representing you here in the 3rd District and in New Jersey. So thank you. Thank you very much. Also, I'd like to recognize, I see Rob Angelo is here. Rob, thank you to Commissioner of Labor that supports the building trades here in New Jersey. You know, you talked about apprenticeships. We have the best apprenticeships in New Jersey for construction workers than in the country, I'm sure. Helmets to hard hats, you talked about veterans. Right now, as we speak, there's over 1,000 veterans that are either apprenticeships or have graduated apprenticeships in the last 8 years. Nobody can compare to that, and the governor has been a big, big supporter of that. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the vice president for the electricians on the State Building Trades Board, and my friend Joe Egan, who represents all electricians in New Jersey. Joe, thank you. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the speaker, who was always there supporting Building Trades agenda. Thank you very much, Craig, for your efforts in bringing this possible for us. You know, just I know the governor said it, but it should provide 15,000 or 1,500 good-paying jobs here. And that's what we need. We need good-paying jobs. There's enough low-income jobs, like we said, to bring up the middle class. And this is a project that will do that. And I also saw, and I got these numbers from A.J. Sabbath, who's our guy. I think you know him. If they're wrong, we can give him some crap over it. But it's going to generate $500 million a year, yearly, for next decades to come, and that's a lot of money. And I'd like to welcome the Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh. Our 150,000 members, we've talked about it, and in groups. Marty was the president of Building Trades in Boston before he became the mayor. It's nice, and I'll say this as a private sector unions who live in a competitive world, very, very competitive world. And that's what makes us strong and makes us stay together. And it's really nice, Commissioner, to have somebody who understands private sector unions and what we go through every day. So thank you very much. I think we all know, you know, the future is here in wind energy. The climate changes are happening. I would just say this, let's all be cautious and not quickly abandon natural gas and the nuclear plants here. Whether that's a popular statement or not, but I think it's true. And as I said, our people are trained and we're ready to go to work on these projects. So thank you all, because all we do is build as the building trades here in New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill, thank you for your leadership, for your words, and for being there for working men and women and their families day in and day out. Donald gave me some good political advice, which I'll share with you. He said, you may want to take Eiffel Tower out and insert Washington Monument, which I think is, I don't know whether or not they're comparable in terms of height, but that's what I'm going to go with. Thank you, Donald, as always. Buy American. Please help me welcome the Executive Director of the Climate Action and the Green Economy Office in our office, a great leader and someone who really helped us get here today. Please help me welcome Jane Cohen. Jane.
Thank you, Governor, for all your leadership and vision. This has been such a journey to get here, but here we are today, and it's a very exciting moment, so thank you. And thank you, Secretary Walsh, for being here with us to celebrate this. I want to thank President Fiordaliso from the BPU and his staff for everything they did to get us here, and also DOT Commissioner, I know she's not here today, but in absentia, her and her staff for their support. And I want to give a very special shout out to the Economic Development Authority, Tim Sullivan, also Brian Sabina, Julia Courtree, Jonathan Kennedy, Gabe Chacon, and Betty Renard. Their work, day in and day out, really helped us get here. So thank you. And keep those sleeves rolled up, guys, because we've got a lot of work to do. Last year, I faced the uniquely challenging experience of having to explain to a class of 25 kindergartners over Zoom where electricity comes from. They had a lot of guesses. Mars, wall sockets, marshmallows, power plants. Some of their guesses were closer than others. But the reality is, we're shaping the answer to that question right now as we usher offshore wind into the United States. And as this summer has shown, yet again, between wildfires, drought, record rainfall, and of course, the devastation that Hurricane Ida brought to our state just last week, we don't have any time to spare. People ask me, in the face of all of this devastating climate news, what brings me hope? And today, the answer truly is this groundbreaking of the New Jersey Windport. Through the vision and leadership of Governor Murphy, this administration has taken a whole of government approach, engaging all of our key agencies, BPU, EDA, DEP, DOT, DOL, Treasury, Higher Ed, and together with the Senate President, the Speaker, our union partners, and stakeholders, we are making a profound and transformational change to our energy future. This groundbreaking represents a major step forward for the new offshore wind industry in the United States. It's also critical in terms of moving New Jersey closer to our goal of 100% clean energy by 2050. But perhaps most importantly, this groundbreaking is a proof point that this old narrative that we have to choose between addressing climate change and creating jobs is abjectly false. In fact, combating climate change presents us with a once-in-a-generation chance to develop economic opportunity, strengthen our workforce, and create family-sustaining union jobs for all who want to be involved in this new industry. In order to leverage this opportunity, we have to be intentional about how we transition to a green economy that is equitable, inclusive, diverse, and works for all New Jerseyans. And to achieve this, the governor created the New Jersey Council on the Green Economy, charged with driving New Jersey's clean and equitable energy future. It's telling that almost half of our 25-member council is here today at an event that delivers on the promise of New Jersey's growing green economy. As our whole country grapples with how to respond to climate change, we're creating the blueprint here in New Jersey. The New Jersey Windport is a leading example of how investments in clean energy infrastructure and workforce development can help build a stronger and fairer New Jersey. And in 30 years, when my son is explaining to the next generation of kindergartners where electricity comes from, I know their first answer will be that it comes from wind turbines off the coast of New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you. Jane, that was great. Congratulations. I mentioned earlier that that PSE&G and the EDA had signed a 70-year lease, and Jane mentioned Joe Fiordaliso was here. It's good to have Joe back because he was there at the signing of the last 78-year lease. So, Joe, it's good to have you. Listen, Speaker, Chairman, with your blessing, a point of personal privilege, Steve, you and I have both mentioned John Berzicelli and Adam Talaferro, your partners in the third. If it would be okay with everybody, I would love to ask John and or Adam to come up just for a real brief word, just to make sure everybody knows who these guys are. They see them and they recognize that they've been on this journey as long as anybody else. Billy, you mentioned it as well. Come on, guys. Just real quick. Adam, we're going to give you a salute from here. Is that right?
Well, good. I guess we're at afternoon, or almost afternoon now. Adam is struggling with his steps today, so we're going to pass this microphone to him in a moment. But let me just join with the words that have been said, because those who know the Senate President and know how he made his living can understand how he conducts himself. And I can tell you that we didn't get here by accident. This just didn't fall out of the sky. And it's taken a great deal of cooperative effort. Steve mentioned the Speaker, and there hasn't been a time we haven't gone to Craig and he has said, yes, let's do this. He said, we're doing what? Yeah, we're doing it, we're doing it. And it's a cooperative effort. But I got the privilege of sitting in meetings with some of our new partners who we're expressing this great love for, and we mean it sincerely. But as any relationship, it's been bumpy at times. I was there when heads were knocked because, we took a step and then someone tried to do something different. We took a step, someone tried to do something different. It was mentioned about the president of the BPU. The way these deals were structured and the bid occurred to be a developer offshore, the BPU, the governor's office, the legislature was very clear that we wanted to protect New Jersey to make sure these jobs could happen here. Because we were always concerned that once we said yes, and you had access to the fields off of New Jersey, and you had access to this great market of consumers, they would forget that there were other things that had to happen. But I was in the room when the governor called a meeting and when Steve Sweeney spoke. And when people from different parts of the world understood that when you said something in New Jersey, it meant something a little different than maybe somewhere other than New Jersey. And when people speak about vision, there are pieces here. Because you see the reactors behind us, actually you see the cooling tower, but you see the reactors behind us. The governor, the legislator stepped up to protect the nuclear industry, which we need as a bridge to get where we're going. Because in Pennsylvania, they walked away, 3 Mile and shut down. But the case was made to the people in New Jersey that nuclear was important. So the rates were adjusted. So PSEG could continue to operate these nuclear plants and these jobs could stay. And that was the right decision. And it was a big decision at the time. And now here we are. In this budget this year, through the legislative process and the governor, $200 million to start this port. That's a cash payment. More is going to have to be borrowed. It's a major investment by the people of New Jersey in both these two ports we spoke about, working in concert to create this new industry. Imagine that, a new industry. Manufacturing, not only in New Jersey, but America. And by the way, to the Secretary of Labor, I enjoyed your comments. You're from Boston, I take it. By the way, I followed your career, an outstanding career as the mayor of Boston, by the way. And glad you're in service to us at the federal level as well. So they were kind enough to let Adam and I speak. And I'm going to bring the microphone over to Adam for a second, he's saying no. But to everyone associated with this, to the Senate President, to the governor, to everyone associated, this is a big deal, my friends. It didn't happen by accident. These pieces came together in a fist fight almost at times. Yeah, almost at times, as I say that. But they came together. And we're at a point now where we haven't won the race, but we're ahead in the race, and we have to be vigilant about what happens next. So this wind port, big deal. Salem County, for the place we love and represent, we're very happy about this because it's going to change lives. It's going to mean something. It's the biggest single economic development project in this county since these nuclear plants were built, and that's a big deal. And the fact there's going to be inclusion, all that stuff matters. So, Governor, thank you for shoehorning Adam and I in, and it feels greatly. And to the Senate President, Steve, we've been at this a long time. And I've always said to people that I have 3 other brothers, but I've never had a better friend than you. And I watched you extend yourself in this debate of how this deal would get structured from day one. And you have always stood up for not only the state, but for the people here in Salem County, the people of the 3rd Legislative District. And some of those meetings were uncomfortable. And some of the words that were exchanged did not have more than 4 letters. But they were effective. And that was a language that broke down international barriers. And we stand here today to break this ground. Thank you.
And I want the record to show we were on the same side of the table. It was... we were on the same side of the table. There are some universal words that resonate around the world. So, John, thank you for that. And Adam, I know you're not speaking, but you've been here every step of the way, to you and John and Steve, to each of our extraordinary. Let's hear it one more time. Secretary of Labor, Marty Walsh, Congressman Donald Norcross, Flora, thank you so much, Jane, Bill Mullen, Senate President, to each and every one of you. I think right now, I know it's raining, so we'll go fast. I think Dan and Alan are going to sign the PLA literally right here. Is that right? Let's do it, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Marty, thank you.
Is going to be the line where we're going to take
Hey, Flora. Frank. This is labor's work. Flora is missing.
He's coming up.
Dan Cosner, Alan Paul, let's go. Flora, are you here? Danny? Come. Flora. Come Come on down here. Okay. On the count of three, does that work already? On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Cool.
Yeah, I did. Man, it was just too far away. This one was much faster. Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, no, I did this one before. So I got to read that one. She's kind of soft, man. So I had to get like